DK.
Golfcast.
Presented by Bones Brothers Media.
In horse racing, they call it a box to wire because Joaquin Niemann jumped out in front, and there were moments, certainly in the tournament, but the guy never looked back. He hoists the trophy given to him by Tiger Woods, who looked incredible, by the way. We'll talk about Tiger maybe a little bit towards the end of the podcast. Second win on PGA Tour, though, for Joaquin Niemann. I always want to call him Jared Niemann because I used to be a country music DJ, but it is Joaquin Niemann. Had a fantastic round. As I said, there were some moments. Colin Morikawa was fantastic. Young was fantastic. Adam Scott was sniffing around there. Of course, Justin Thomas and Victor Hovland, Bones DK, who I want to ask you about. Well, welcome Bones DK into the podcast right now. You actually called a timeout, an emergency press conference to talk about Hovland this week on Twitter. Had some ups and downs this week. What'd you make of it?
I mean, it was a great week. I got a 6 for 6 through. Overall, our takes were on point. Just didn't have the right equation. And yeah, we had a little emergency press conference on Victor Hovland. I just felt silly, and I just wanted to put something out there for the guys. I mean, it was a complete overlook, and that you got my rant, so that's all I need to say.
We're back in Florida this week, Wildman, your home state. How are things going down there in Tampa?
Weather is pristine. Looking forward to a good week, though. I mean, this event seems to be a subpar event, no pun intended, to, based on other events on the PGA Tour. I feel better than I've felt in a long time with my initial takes here. So.
All right, the PGA Honda Classic coming up this weekend. It is at PGA National. Like we said, we are back in Florida. And when we play PGA events in Florida, that means there is water and danger pretty much everywhere you look. And there's no exception here at PGA National. We got water on 15 holes. Of course, the famous bear trap holes, 16 through 18, which ends on a scoreable par 5, but it's over water, of course. So we have that to look forward to. It's a 7,200-yard par course. This is the third hardest course in difficulty, though, if you look back to the 41 events that were played in 2021. So that may be, Wildman, why you don't see as elite a field as you normally would. In fact, we have no top 10 players in this field, 7 of the top 20. But coming off a big week last week in California, the difficulty of this tournament at PGA National, what can you add to what I just said about it?
Well, certainly the field was a lot stronger in the past. You had heavy hitters that played in this event. And it was at a different time on the schedule, too. I think it was the 4th of 4 in the Florida swing rather than the kickoff event for the Florida swing. But, yeah, tons of water. Forget about bogey-free bonuses. You're not going to see probably a bogey-free round all week. This course sets up to be difficult. Tons of water. You're going to be having a lot of up and downs from over 100 yards due to that. It's going to skew your scrambling percentages. But there is a premium on, of course, keeping the ball dry off the tee. That's really your only way to have opportunities here. It's actually got 2 of the 3 hardest 3-hole stretches in all of golf at this course. So, going to have to play well, going to have to hit fairways, give yourself opportunities. And then finally, if you're playing showdowns or you're looking for streak opportunities, the best chance to streak is starting on the back because you're getting number 18 and number 1, which are 2 of the easier holes on the course, one being a par 5. So
only 2 par 5s on this course, both reachable, though. According to Osmo.com, number 3 is the easiest hole on this course. So you have to have birdie or better. I should say par or better on that hole, and you really want to have birdie on there. We mentioned just a moment ago, Bones, not a whole lot of big names in this golf tournament, and in fact, only a few guys in this field even have like relative history here. Fleetwood, Woodland, Sungjae Im have all finished in the top 10. You got guys like Brooks Koepka, Berger, Westwood. They've had a mixed bag of results here. A guy like Lowry has been here, made a cut every time. It's never finished in the top 20. So a smattering of other golfers with an interesting history here. How tough is this one to handicap for you, Bones?
This one is a little tougher. Course history is something I look at in the very beginning of the week every time just to see if anybody sticks out. What I noticed in this tournament is that not many people stick out, actually, with tournament history. So it's not something I'm going to weigh heavy into this week. Sungjae Im and Tommy Fleetwood are 2 of the only guys I really see with stupendous history here. But other than that, if you look at the rest of the history, it actually is super random. Like you look at Keith Mitchell, he goes miscut first, miscut. Brooks Koepka, miscut second cut. You come down here to Russell Knox, 4 miscuts, and I have a good take on Russell Knox later. Denny McCarthy, 3 miscuts and a third. CT Pan, 2 miscuts and a third. So like it's just totally random this week. You almost want your girlfriend or wife or companion to pick the players this week. I don't know what's going to happen. This one's tough. I got a few guys queued up, but this is going to be a risk-reward week.
And that's a testament to the difficulty of this course and the water on this course. I mean, random bounces, balls that ride the edge of that water that get lucky, that are separated by a few feet. That's why you're seeing all these rather inconsistent results here out of these individual golfers. Let's start at the top, though, because, again, not a whole lot of big names here. Stay in your seat when I tell you this, Bones. Sung Jae Im is our number 1 golfer at $11,000 this week. That's a pretty penny for Sung Jae. We've got Louis Oosthuizen at 10-8. We've got Neiman, last week's winner, I should say, at 10-6. Berger at 10-4. Koepka rounds out the 5-digit guys at 10-1. And Oosthuizen, if I may give you guys a quick look into Twitter, is just being blown up right now on Twitter. A lot of guys like Oosthuizen. Let's start with him, Bones DK. How do you feel about Louis?
Yeah, whatever. He's Louis. I don't know. I mean, is he going to just come out here and win this tournament for everybody? Probably, because the chalk has been hitting like that, But, yeah, Louis is an okay play. I think the clear best play here is Sung Jae Im, 11,000. Has good history, in really good form. That's a lot of money for Sung Jae. And then you come down and see like a Daniel Berger and Brooks Koepka. That is weird to see Sung Jae $1,000 more than Brooks Koepka here with a second place in his best finish, Brooks Koepka. So, this is a range I'm probably going to skip this week. I see a ton of value in the 9 and 8K range, but if I'm going to play someone at top, it's going to be Sung Jae. I'm not going to go all in on him though. No one up here. I mean, it's a weird tournament this week.
It would be hard for me to sleep well at night knowing I've got Sung Jae Im in my lineup, regardless of the course history, and leaving Brooks Koepka on the bench at $900 less. Wildman, do you have that same feeling?
I don't know if I share the same feeling about Koepka, but yeah, that's a lot to pay for him. I mean, he's, there's a significant savings there on some guys that are very similar in terms of talent level and resume. But Oosthuizen guys, I mean, look, we talk about him all the time. 0 career wins on U.S. soil. I mean, how can you argue it? We like him in those spots at tougher courses that maybe set up a little bit like this, but we're getting him in that like high 7, low 8 range where, a 3rd or 5th or 7th place will get it done. For this type of price, a 0-time U.S. soil winner, I don't know, man. Let the chalk eat it up if they want, but I'm not going to be doing it, especially because, we talk about this too. Louis is that guy that could just withdraw any day of any tournament,
Interesting take there. Well, let's jump down to the $9,000 range then. If we don't like anybody in the 5-digit range, how about Fleetwood at 99, Horschel at 96? A lot of social media buzz about Horschel this week. Perhaps is this a hometown course for him, Wildman? Maybe
he's a Florida guy.
Horschel, I know he's a Florida guy for sure. But anyhow, he's at 9.6. Lowry's at 9.4. Noren at 9.3. Wolf at 9.2. Mitchell at 9.1, and Matt Jones, who I believe won here last year, if I'm not mistaken, or the year before, rounds us out at 9,000. So Bones DK, you didn't like anybody in the 5-digit tier. Do you like anybody at this 9,000 tier?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably my favorite range here. I see a ton of value. You see Tommy Fleetwood, a 3rd and a 4th in his 2 appearances here. He's in really good form as well. He's going to be tough to fade. He was in my initial lineup when I first made my build this week. But, you got a lot of water and a lot of danger. Fleetwood, look at all these double bogeys out of him. A lot of bogeys in pretty good form. He scares me a little bit this week, even though I really want to play him. Shane Lowry is a great player. Billy Horschel, I know a lot of people are talking about him, and there's not really much to argue against him. He is trending towards a win right now. 36th, 11th, 6th. It seems like he's about to pop off. But then you look at these stats over here with Billy, and it's kind of scaring me. Almost setting up for a letdown, right? The chalk letdown. He's really making a lot of putts right now. not doing great on the approach. His off the tee is pretty good. He's good around the green. I don't know. He just scares me a little bit when so many people were talking about him at such a high price. Billy Horschel, he's going to be a tough play. One of my favorite plays of the whole 9K range is Keith Mitchell. Coming off, he has 4 top 12s in his last 5 events. He's a Florida guy. I think both his wins were in Florida. Good bogey avoidance over here. Keith Mitchell, 9,100, is one of my favorite plays in the entire tournament. And one more guy I want to bring up is Matt Jones, right? There hasn't been a back-to-back winner since Jack Nicklaus, 77 and 78 at this tournament. So as much as I love Jones, I mean, he doesn't need to come out and win this tournament, right? You know, it doesn't mean just because he's not going back-to-back, it's a bad play. I could see him doing well here. 22 birdies with 16 bogeys last week with 11 and 12 before that. So after reading a little bit more into Matt Jones, he does scare me a little bit as a fade. I think he's a little bit of a fade for me. So Keith Mitchell is my favorite play in this range.
He hit on a lot of guys there, Wild Man. Who you got?
Yeah, one thing interesting about the bogeys is Sung Jae Im's the exact opposite of that. I mean, that's where you're getting value in him, not to go backwards. But, man, he has not been making a lot of bogeys. So that's something to strongly consider here. Means he's keeping it in the fairway and you know, making tough putts. But, yeah, I like Billy Horschel a lot. I mean, the putter is not sustainable, right, to gain 5 strokes every time you tee it up. But, man, is he scoring a lot of DraftKings points. He is a local guy, University of Florida product. So, you know, he's a former FedEx champion, by the way. I mean, let's not look at him any differently than
multiple time winner on the PGA Tour.
Absolutely. Big events, playoff events, and you know, the tour's biggest prize is in his pocket a few years back. So he's clearly a guy that can win anywhere you go. I would say that Alex Noren is the most overpriced golfer perhaps I've ever seen in my life. They're at 9,300. That is a lot to pay for a guy that didn't do much last week, and hasn't been overly strong. But I'd say Billy Horschel. You know, I like Lowry, but man, can he get squirrely off the tee? And you know, it does get windy here, which probably helps him out. But water is difficult for him, whereas long rough, I think, would maybe not be as penal for him. So I'll pass on Lowry as well. In that range, I'm going Horschel as my favorite, and Fleetwood right behind him.
Good stuff in the $9,000 range. We dropped down one rung on the ladder to the $8,000 range. We got Pereira at 89, Patrick Reed, big name, 88, Brian Harman at 87, Young at 86, Vegas at 85, Wise at 84, Hughes at 83, Woodland, who's got a decent history relative to the rest of the field, he's at 82, Knox at 81, and Bazudenhout at 8,000. Bones DK, any value in the $8,000 tier?
Yeah, man, you got finally Mito up there. Jeez, 8,900. I love Mito, but that's a big price for him. You know, you got Cameron Young coming off the big storyline last week. Really wanted to play him and just overthought it a little bit. Great guy, though. I like what I'm seeing out of him. My favorite play in this range is 8,700 Brian Harman. This guy is just a really good golfer. He had 3 top 20s in majors last year, including a 13th at the Masters and a 3rd at the Players. And then you just go down to his stats here at the Phoenix Open last week. Gained in every category: off the tee, approach, around the green, tee to green. Only lost putting by 0.5. Coming off a strong finish at the Phoenix Open and had a 3rd at the Amex this year. So clearly in decent form. I'm not looking too much into the Pebble Beach, you know, that weird tournament. So I think Brian Harman could easily win this tournament.
All right, good take there. Wild Man, anybody at the $8,000 range that you like? That Bones DK only talked about Harman there. Who you got?
You know, I'm a Harman guy. I mean, I can get behind that. I want to talk about Vegas. You know, this is a correlation to the Sony Open in many respects. Also here, distance is helpful, extremely helpful, even though you have to hit it straight. So you can't just grip it and rip it. Distance always helps. He can be a really good player off the tee, and he's got course history here as well. He's coming in as number 27 in my model, rating out pretty well in the metrics I'm looking at, like opportunities gained and things like that. So I would look at Vegas. Gary Woodland, like, when I first saw Woodland at 8,200, I'm like, all day long. Woodland's my first guy in because it kind of feels like he's playing a little bit better than he is, right? And I started to dig a little deeper, and he really hasn't been doing a whole lot. He got a lot of FaceTime there at the Waste Management, I believe because he was in the featured group and was playing with Koepka, but he ended up really kind of gagging it away to miss the cut there by not taking advantage down the stretch. Had a couple opportunities to make the cut, but didn't do so. So Woodland, flip a coin on him. Russell Knox, Rob, don't you have something important about Russell Knox? Because he's the guy that I was talking about earlier. Like, he's been playing so well. He's always my, kind of one of my last fades. So as soon as I get on him, it's going to be the loser dust on him, right?
Well, Russell Knox, other people were talking about him, surprisingly enough. 3 straight 33rds out of him with Russell Knox. But if you go over to the tournament history, he has missed the cut 4 out of 5 times here. Okay? There he is. And his best finish is a 51st. However, career-wise at the Bear Trap, he is 6 under, which is the best of any tour player. So it's just not matching up. And, you're talking about guys that just randomly pop up here. Almost bad history is good, and they come out and just have a 4th or a 1st. This is Russell Knox's time. And you see 3 straight 33rds. How about a 3rd place out of Russell Knox? Keeping those 3s going. Russell Knox, 3rd place, 8,100.
Especially since today is 2/22.
Yeah,
22.
I thought about that too. Tomorrow, it's Wednesday, but whatever.
Once
Still kind of
in
cool.
a lifetime day we are living today. Wildman, who you got in the $7,000 range? I'm sorry, the $8,000 range.
Yeah, Knox, it makes sense. I mean, 7th at the Sony Open, but the guy right below him that was also 7th at the Sony Open, who's my favorite play of the week here at 7,900, is Ryan Palmer. Has a lot of success at that course, the Sony. Wildlife has a lot of success here. Getting a little bit older now, I think he's pushing over mid-40s. But he's a guy, I was talking to another friend of ours who has connections to the PGA Tour in the U.S. Open and Oakmont Country Club in Pittsburgh and things like that. And he said, there's a lot of chatter in PGA Tour locker rooms that Ryan Palmer's ready to win a U.S. Open or something like that. I don't know where that really comes from, whether he's shaping his game like that or what. Perhaps he's just a little bit wiser now, getting into that mid-40s range. But he's a solid player, and you've seen him well over 8,000 in much stronger fields recently. So he's a guy I love.
Rob, you just talked about Knox at 6 under par in the Bear Trap in his career. Do you have a mark on what Palmer is at the Bear Trap in his career?
I appreciate you asking, Edge, because I really wanted to bring it up. So Russell Knox, you can see, has horrible history, but yet is the best on tour at the Bear Trap. Ryan Palmer is the worst career-wise at the Bear Trap. 40 over at the Bear Trap somehow. Ryan Palmer, check it on PGAtour.com. It is a real stat. And somehow he's still getting a 4th and 17th out there. This tournament just makes no sense. I don't know what the hell to do.
It's tough. It is a tough one to handicap, and it gets even tougher when you go sub 8,000. And I really believe it's going to take one or two guys out of this sub 8,000 range to win. The big one here, chase the bag. So who can you fill the gaps in for us, Bones DK? I can't go over all these guys. There's 100 of them sub 8,000, but who do you like the most? And one guy I would like your opinion on. Ricky Fowler at 76.
Look at Ricky Fowler. 1st miscut, 2nd miscut, 65th. I mean, I'm telling you.
Dude, he's won here before. I think that is so important, though. I really do.
Yeah, course history is good. He's at 7,600. Did he make the cut last week? I know he was only like 6,500, but I don't know if he ended up
made the
paying
cut
off.
last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to get there with Ricky Fowler. I'm just not there. You got Lucas Glover down here. I know you like Wildman. I like Grayson Sigg. The flyer of the week a couple weeks ago.
Smoke if you got him.
Yeah, he hits it well. Brandon Steele, 3rd and a 4th here, and a 14th with only 1 missed cut. He is definitely a good flyer this week. He's in horrible form, but seems to pop up at this tournament. Also, a good corollary course is the Sony Open and has good history there. So you're going to want to refer to my top plays for my favorite plays in the 7K range. I haven't gotten here completely yet.
There's Stu Sink on the Fantasy National model at 7,100. Never missed a cut, but only one top 20 in the last 5 years. Wildman, who you got in this sub 8,000 range?
I think I said this about Fowler on the air a year or two ago with you guys. There was like a tweet or something, Instagram, where he's got the Corona Light popped with the lime. He's got the girl in the thong bikini laying down on the
poor guy.
while he mashes one, off of her backside, if you will. And I think I said to you guys, now here's a guy that gets it. Okay, here's a guy that gets it. I got 20 million in the bank. I won the players. I'm gonna go chill. I'm gonna live it up, man. How much more money do I need? Fowler's best days are behind him.
Wild man, have you ever hit a tee shot from a woman's backside before?
I have. She didn't look like that. But
did you kill her?
Oh man, it was a wayward shot. Let's.
Hey, we dumped the flyer of the week. So who can you add there? Sub 8,000. I know you said a couple names. You got anybody else you want to mention there?
Well, it's the two guys sandwiching Fowler in DraftKings pricing right now. Brendan Todd, always a guy that I like at courses where you need to keep it in the fairway. He's like, for my money, the best guy when it is needed to keep it straight and out of danger. Doesn't hit it very far, but this course is a below average type of course off the tee anyhow. So Todd's a guy I really like, is having an opportunity. Plays well at the Sony as well. We keep bringing that up. And then the guy right above him is Ian Poulter, making his United States debut this week. Just always a guy that seemed to be a grinder, I assume we're going to see a score that's not up in that 20 under par range and more where this course has been over the last few years, where, 6, 7, 9, maybe 10 under wins it. He's a guy that, you like if he gets his putter going, can play well in tough spots. So I'd take a long look at Poulter here.
Anybody you missed, Robbie?
Yeah, so Poulter is a great play. I'm looking at guys that are good in the wind. Lee Westwood is one guy I did want to mention, 7,800. I think he's a strong play this week. And how about going back to Sam Ryder, the ace in the hole, right? The big name lately. Back-to-back top 25s in really good form, good bogey avoidance. Had a top 10 here last year, so I think he is a good guy to look at as history-wise, just in decent form. I'm not all in on history, of course, this week, maybe not even at all, but Sam Ryder is a decent play at 7,200.
All right, so when can we expect the cheat sheet on Bones DK Twitter page?
Well, I like to promote the podcast, so I wait till Wednesday, late Wednesday. I'll get it out there eventually. Sometimes I forget, not gonna lie, but I get a few followers that are sure to remind me every Wednesday night. But it's been going really, really well this year. We had a good week last week. Also, I like to do a little more digging. It's Tuesday night here on the podcast, so look at my top plays Wednesday night when I finally did all my research and feel comfortable putting out those plays.
Wildman, just before we came on the pod, Phil Mickelson released a statement. It is lengthy. It is very contrite. He says that he's sorry. He's talks about personal reflection and such. He also makes excuses. One or two excuses throughout the apology also, but I thought it was a good apology. What do you make of it?
Do you think a guy that made $65 million last year in income really cares what anybody thinks? And do you really think that he wrote that statement? There's no way. I mean, look, Phil's always been an outspoken guy. He's essentially an independent contractor of the PGA Tour and the European Tour. So he has his right to his opinion. I think sometimes the truth hurts, and if you're going to get offended by some foul language, you're going to have to get over it. If you're really offended by his stance and some of this stuff, I guess you can be if that's what you choose. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but
I think a lot of people are offended by his stance on the whole thing. But let me take it a little layer deeper. He's created quite a mess for himself here, because he is talking about the Saudis who kill people. They have. That's a fact. That's true. Is he worried at all about that in the back burner? Yeah, I'm being serious, man. I know you guys will laugh about it, but he's essentially went all the way in with these guys. And the other thing that I think has really burnt Phil here, more than his public image or whatever, is how quick the young guys on the PGA Tour were ready to bury him by committing their allegiances to the PGA Tour. I don't think he thought those guys disliked him perhaps as much as they disliked him on tour, because it wasn't just, and then DeChambeau came out, buried him. Geez, he is really in quite a conundrum here. The PGA has to suspend him. There's no doubt about that.
Games, like I said, it's all fun and games until somebody's taking money out of your pocket, right? These young guys are trying to make a living, Nowadays, making $1 million a year as a pro golfer is not that great, you have to handle your own expenses and hope that you can get sponsorships and things like that to really be able to focus on your game. So, I do get that part of it. And, remember this, Phil is far from squeaky clean.
True.
He's been linked to insider trading. He's been linked to Billy Walters, the philanthropist and professional gambler that went down. I think he might still be in prison, Billy Walters. So Phil has not been squeaky clean by any stretch of the imagination. I think you start talking about other people's money and other people's food on the table, that strikes a chord, clearly.
I'm just really surprised that he went all in, and he just got burnt, right? He went all in and he got beat on the river. There's no doubt about that. And he's going to have a lot of repairing to do, I think. Not only, again, his public image, but his actual image amongst the players on tour. I think they're sick of his crap. And I can't believe they think he tried to pull that. You know what I mean? Or they can't believe that he tried to pull that. All right, Bones. Enough of the serious stuff. Final thoughts on the Honda this week.
Phil, hero to zero pretty quick, right? It happens a lot. Just add him to the.
He'll be back. He'll be back. But yeah,
I know a little bit about today's trajectory.
Yeah, today's got to be a tough day to be Phil Mickelson. There's no doubt about it. All right, final thoughts on the Honda.
No, good luck. This week it's a gamble this week. I don't know how much of a high investment week it is for me, only because you see how random this tournament is. But it's going to be fun to watch. I'll have money involved. I'll tell you that much.
Yes, he will, and so will TW Man 66. Who do you think is going to win this week, Wildman?
How about this? How about, before I give my pick to win, how about this pick for a top 10? Zach Johnson, two-time major winner, man. He's in really good form, and he's kind of like that Brendan Todd player as well. So I would give a long look to ZJ there.
I want to bring something up. I feel like me and Wildman the last few weeks have been. He's all about these old guys, right? There's a new wave of generation players. Zach Johnson? You kidding me? This place gets some young guys in there.
About that new wave of players. No doubt about that. All right, boys, it's going to be a lot of fun. As Bones DK said, not the easiest one to handicap, but the play will be awesome, and the course is awesome. The bear trap is always something fun to watch. As always, thank you guys so much for listening. For Wildman, you can follow him on Twitter, the TWMan66. For Bones DK Golf, that's his handle on Twitter and TikTok. Also, my name is Edge. Follow me at Golf Guy WV. Once again, thanks so much for listening. Until next time, tell a friend about us also. And good luck in Florida this week with the PGA Honda Classic.